What's up, guys? So, Artem Suslenkov has just stopped Joe Joyce in the 11th round of what was a very competitive and back and forth matchup. Now, like I said, a competitive matchup, in my opinion, going into the championship rounds. I had it 5 rounds apiece on my scorecard. Now, you could have had either fighter out in front by quite a few rounds due to the fact that these rounds were very difficult to score. It was a lot of back and forth action, and it kind of depended on what you liked. Suslenkov was landing the more cleaner, eye-catching, harder shots out of the two. Joe Joyce was the busier, more consistent guy out of the two. Joyce, shots don't look like much, but due to him being a very big guy, they were still having an effect on Suslenkov and marking up his face. So, like I said, on my scorecard, it was 5 rounds apiece, and it was quite a bizarre ending to the fight because Joe Joyce ended up quitting in this fight, and it's quite strange to quit in a fight that's up for grabs. 5 rounds apiece on my card, very competitive fight. I think the commentator had Joyce up, and it was a strange ending because in the 11th round, in a fight that was, like I said, very close, Joyce started feeling confident all of a sudden, started doing a bit of showboating out of nowhere, then got caught with a couple of big shots from Suslenkov due to having his hands down in front of him, trying to do a bit of showboating. I'm not sure why, but all of a sudden, like I said, he felt confident, started showboating, dropped his hands, got caught with a couple of big shots, then waved his hand at Suslenkov as if to say no mas. Suslenkov then put it on him, landed a few more big shots, and Joe Joyce kind of retreated into the corner. Suslenkov, was still putting it on him, and the ref was forced to jump in and stop it as Joe Joyce was not wanting to fight on anymore. He was kind of almost cowering in the corner, and the fight was stopped there in the 11th round in quite bizarre fashion. Like I said, very competitive, close fight that was up for grabs, in my opinion. I can only think that maybe Joyce thought he was way behind on the cards and therefore gave up in this fight because, I mean, he took some big shots, but it didn't seem like he was that badly hurt. He had been taking these similar shots, throughout the fight, but not, just repetitively getting his head bashed in. He was having a lot of success as well. It was a very close fight. He was hurt much worse in the 4th round where Suslenkov buckled him with a right hand. But Joyce recovered well after that, and in my opinion, it stacked up quite a few of the rounds in the second half of the fight. I gave Joyce the first round. I then gave Suslenkov the second, the third. Like I said, Suslenkov then hurt Joyce in the 4th with the right hand. And then the 5th round, in my opinion, was another close competitive round. Suslenkov landed the bigger shots. He was getting up close to Joyce and looking to land those left hooks. Then the 6th round, Joyce, in my opinion, might have just outworked him. And then a lot of the rounds were very, like I said, close and hard to score like that. But the 7th, I thought Joyce might have edged him again, just being busier. 8th was another hard one to score. I thought Joyce was busier and did enough. 9th round, I thought Suslenkov definitely landed the better quality shots. I thought then Joyce, once again, edged the 10th round, and I had it 5 rounds apiece. And then going into the 11th, where Suslenkov was able to stop Joe Joyce. Now, Joyce, was the much bigger of the two guys, and he was having success from range, but not as much as I would have liked. He wasn't, in my opinion, using his jab as well as he should have been. He was kind of allowing Suslenkov to get up close on him. I think Joyce was kind of trying to land body shots and right hooks, so he was allowing Suslenkov to get a little bit close to him, and Suslenkov on the inside was, like I said, landing clean left hooks, but still a very close fight because Joyce was landing on the shorter, smaller man, and even though Joyce's shots don't look like that much, they were having an effect on Suslenkov, as you could see the damage on his face. He was the much smaller man out of the two guys. I think it was about 23 kilogram difference between the two guys. So Joyce's shots were still having an effect on Suslenkov. Suslenkov was also not in any way dominating this fight, and you could see he was also sort of feeling the effects of the fight. He was breathing quite heavy, and in my opinion, it was a fight that was up for grabs. And I thought Joyce won the first minute of the 11th round. And then the second minute of the 11th round, Suslenkov definitely won quite big, and then was able to stop Joe Joyce in this round. Joe Joyce quit, in my opinion, was quite surprising. I thought it was kind of out of nowhere. Now, I know he took some big shots there, but it was also quite strange from Joyce that he would just all of a sudden start doing a bit of showboating and kind of have his hands down in front of the guy. Strange ending, but Suslenkov able to get the job done here and probably, the toughest fight of his career. I know he's had some wins over guys like Michael Hunter, but Joe Joyce, probably the biggest name and best fighter that he's beaten, I would say, at this point. So decent win for Suslenkov here. Not that impressive of a performance, in my opinion. I would probably describe Suslenkov as maybe a bit of a poor man's Povetkin, but nonetheless, Suslenkov stops Joe Joyce in the 11th round in quite bizarre fashion. Let me know what your guys' thoughts were on this fight in the comment section below, guys. Thanks for listening. Talk to you guys again soon. Cheers.